I am Boba Fett.
If you will. So here we are. We are Thursday Night Live on a Friday. So we appreciate everybody that was able to change their schedule up and jump in with us. Realize here in the Cantina we'll have people popping in and out. It's kind of the way it goes. Also got comments from over on Facebook we'll be looking at, comments here in the Zoom room. So as the room's populating here, lots and lots to do here on Thursday Night Live on a Friday. Well, I guess I'll just call it Friday Night Live now. So it sounds like a big wrestling match or something. Maybe Bill can help us out with that. But we're going to talk Book of Boba Fett, episode 6 and 7. We're going to talk the Hasbro reveals that we saw. We're going to talk Obi-Wan. We're going to talk about Jay's shirt. So, we're going to talk about all kinds of stuff. It's going to be a fun night. I'm glad you guys were able to kind of change your schedule around last night and jump in with us this evening. Sorry about that. As I was telling Jay, it is baseball season and things have to be in flux at our house around that time of year. So, and I got this cool thing. Yes, we're going to talk about this later too. Some of you have heard about this from Blue Milk. This is the vintage collection book. It was like a labor of love for them. Big book. And it's like a comprehensive, I'll just give you a quick glance. We'll look at it more later. But like you look up the characters and stuff. It's got images, write-ups and everything from the vintage collection. Super sweet resource. Pricey, but super sweet. So
they make a lot of those for G.I. Joe.
Do they?
And
cool.
they're pretty expensive too.
Yeah, I'm stoked about this. Let's see, got something in the front of it. Oh, sweet. Even came with a yak face bookmark. How about that? Nice.
That is cool.
Oh, and some other stuff. Oh, dude. I didn't even know I had this. Oh, okay. We'll get into it later. Okay, we've got so much to do. So here's the deal. Okay. Hopefully everybody's seen, of course, 6. Hopefully you've seen the finale. If not, Jay and Ricardo have already spoiled it for us with their images. So we're gonna have a blast tonight, kind of working through those. But we gotta pace ourselves. Okay. I know the finale was phenomenal. Okay. I know that's what some of the words are out there. I've got to confess, I had some mixed reviews on the beginning of it, but I'll get into that. I know the look of bewilderment has befallen some of you, but I want us to take our time and work through 6. I really loved episode 6, and I know you guys did too. I know it's probably been a while since you thought about it because you're all engrossed in episode 7, but episode 6 was something special. So, without any further ado, man, let's get after it. Since we've got so much to do here, we'll just jump in and look at our comments. All right, we're looking good here. All right, hope everybody's doing well. That's in the on the Facebook Live side. You guys here in the Zoom, you look like you've put in a good day, and now you're ready to join the party. Uh-oh, Steve's flashing off. Oh, he's got the Ultimate Hulk. Look at that, folks. The Ultimate. That dude is huge. Holy moly. So you finally got it. Oh, what's he got? He's working on the side here. Sorry, we've got distracted by toys. Imagine that. So, okay. So is that the 80th anniversary beside him then? Nice.
Wow.
Those are so cool. Everybody's talking about Boba Fett and Razor Crest stuff. So he says, let me show y'all some Hulk love right here.
I'm sorry. I couldn't get my mic unmuted. Yeah, this is the Marvel Select Hulk next to the 80th anniversary. He's a little bit bigger, but he looks great.
Wow, really man, good. It does look really cool.
And then you can see I've got like stacks of junk that needs to get.
Dude, you got to start opening those. You can open them tonight while you're listening to us and having fun with us. And talking.
Open some Star Wars figures.
Open up everything. Open it all up. Let her rip.
Okay,
I've got to start opening my vintage collection and get ready for the landing of the Razor Crest. So
maybe we'll do that.
Yeah, maybe. Well, let's get started. Let's get started with episode 6 of the Book of Boba Fett. From the Desert Comes a Stranger. And we'll just kind of roll through this. And, as Jay has already jokingly said, I do have a agenda I like to follow to progressively work through it. But what are some of your first impressions off episode 6? We'll just kind of do a free-for-all on episode 6, and then we'll come back to some things if I think we need to address something. What about it? What about episode 6? from the desert comes a stranger. Anything stand out to you guys? Not all at once. It's okay.
Well, I personally like any episode that has Ahsoka Tano in it, so
Oh, yeah.
you can't go wrong with her. But um, the addition of Cad Bane and I loved Cad Bane and the whole thing. The character, he makes me so angry because he's such a good villain. But that's what makes him such a great. He's like a really layered character, I think.
So what did you think about the way they presented him? Do you think they pulled off a good live action perspective?
Yeah, I mean, it sounded the same. It's what I would imagine it if you met Cad Bane in person. I liked it.
Yeah, and I'm if not mistaken, it's the same voice actor that did the animated.
I don't know how it couldn't be if it wasn't. Whoever it was did an amazing job. But
it's Corey Burton.
Oh,
from
it was
Clone
okay.
Wars. Yeah, it's Corey Burton, same guy.
Yeah, Ed B says over in the chats he's going to have Cad Bane nightmares because of this. I mean, he was menacing.
He's a scary dude, man. He's like an evil Clint Eastwood from The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. I mean, it was the epitome of what he was, a bounty hunter, Wild West scumbag. So he was there to
I know we're
get it done. I hate that the sheriff got shot, though. I like that guy, and that they left it so open ended. I'm hoping he's the guy. He's who was in when he said that his Bantha tank was occupied. I thought it was Black Chrysanthemum.
Black Chrysanthemum.
But then he was right there.
He's out there eating fruit in the street. Okay, we're jumping to 7 already.
Sorry.
Well, listen, I want to say this about Cad Bane showing up in 6. Like, you spent half of that episode with Luke and Grogu, and what a huge deal to see Luke, training Grogu. I think that was awesome. But then to get to the end of the episode and be like so excited about Cad Bane that it almost overshadows the amazing, seeing Luke and doing actual Jedi training with someone it kind of shows you the testament. It's a testament to how cool that character is, how unexpected it was to see that character, and just what a way to reveal something. It's like you think you've gotten something super cool. Well, here you go.
Yeah, and it's hard to top Luke. Okay, that's a little bit of a carryover into 7 that we'll talk about a little bit. But yeah, what did you guys when Mando takes off there in the Starfighter, which is growing on me, I'll have to say, and I realize Steve and I are working through some issues in our relationship because of the Starfighter, which I'm glad y'all are here because we're gonna have to get into it tonight, and I'm gonna need y'all to be our safe place where we can talk it out. But that being said, Mando flies off in the Starfighter, the wind chimes, and then he looks out in the horizon and sees that silhouette. Did you guys know it was Cad Bane right away or what?
Yeah.
Yes. Jay's like, yes, he saw the swagger, he saw the hat. So
with the long trench coat blowing in the breeze. I mean,
it was
all the brim of the hat. It's all it could be.
Yeah, and then you're thinking, are we really going to get to see a live action rendition of Cad Bane? And then they pulled it off. I mean, he looked great. I mean, I know you've got the haters online, but they're going to find something to dislike no matter what.
I think the only problem that we had is that he wasn't blue enough. He was very pale.
Well, he's on Tatooine.
He's on Tatooine.
We saw what it did to Obi-Wan in that short amount of time. I mean, look at Ewan McGregor, then look at Alec Guinness. I mean, it tore him up. He aged a lot in just a couple, 20 years.
Cad Bane was just there on business, though, a business trip. Obi-Wan was there for decades.
Mm-hmm.
Those twin sons will burn you. Yeah.
Yeah.
He had to put on some SPF 100.
That's right. He's lathering it up. What's his droid's name? Toto or something like that. What is it?
Yeah.
Or is that Wizard of Oz? I don't know. Or maybe I'm
Toto's Wizard of Oz. It's
okay.
No,
but it's something very similar to that.
His droid,
my pretty
his droid was Toto in the Clone Wars, and
he
got blowed up though real good. Because remember he was planting the bomb, but or he was the bomb. But the thing about Cad Bane, the light shade. Remember, in the cartoon, in the Clone Wars, those are very stylized versions of real life characters in so many ways. And then with Cad Bane being a Duros, we don't know how they age. Maybe their skin lightens as they get. I mean, he's an old man. He really is an old man at this point. So, I thought it was perfection. I hate it when people go chef's kiss, but I mean literally chef's kiss to that. It was just, I thought it was great.
And that is the thing. You brought up the aging thing. A lot of times people said, especially as we're jumping in this timeline, we've never seen these characters in this timeline before. We talk about, we saw them in Clone Wars, saw them in Bad Batch. There's no way they could be around, or they just be old and decrepit. I mean, we just don't know if they're not a humanoid, how they're going to age, like you said. So they could, they could keep, the Wookiees, for Pete's sake, Yoda, for Pete's sake. I mean, you've got these super long lives and, still spry as a chicken early on. So what did you guys think about, we open up in episode 6, kind of backtracking a little bit. Cobb Vanth, he's out there facing off the Pikes, give him the old, what for? Don't run your spice through here. They leave the spice behind, and he goes over to it, kicks it over, and then it goes off into the wind, and we open up the episode. How many of you have seen Dune? Have you seen the new Dune? Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, yes, bring that in. Come on.
Yes. I was like, every aspect of it, from the little particles, the glimmer, all of it. I was like, this is all one big universe,
Yeah.
According to the spice. So, no, what's the planet that they're getting the spice on in Dune? Now, see, I'm not a huge Dune guy, so
Arrakis.
Arrakis,
Yeah.
yes.
Dune.
Yeah, Dune.
Did they call it Dune?
Well, but the planet is called Arrakis. Steve.
Arrakis. Yeah.
So thank you, Steve.
I fell asleep in that movie.
Oh, it had its sleepy moments. I'll give you that.
It's not for everyone.
It's not for everyone, and they're making like what, 2 or 3 more? Is that my
Children of Dune, I think, is the next one. Yeah, something like that.
Sand Dune, Beach Dune? Is there something like that?
You could do a lot with Dune. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you could.
Mm-hmm.
But the scenes with the spice, it looked just like the spice we saw come out of that box there at the beginning of
They
episode.
probably stole it from their set. Who
Well,
knows?
It probably did.
And Lucas, this back in 77.
Yes, I was old, and
Yeah. Well, what was 3PO saying R2 will be sent to the spice mines of Kessel, smashed, and who knows what. Spice has kind of been a thing in
Sure.
Star Wars because of Dune. Like
Right.
that was a straight up reference from George Lucas to Dune to talk about the spice, and then the fact that it ends up being a drug and everything down the road like that. It is kind of it's definitely an homage for sure.
Oh yeah, and you definitely, like you said, it's got ties back to 77, but just to see how close it looked to Dune's, the most recent version of Dune, and what we saw in this episode, it's remarkable. It is exactly dead on. So really cool to see that. Now, of course, I kind of alluded to it earlier, and I'm glad Steve's on here and you guys are here with us to help us navigate this dilemma. Before episode 7 came out, and of course we know episode 6 ends with the Grogu's decision, and we were texting back and forth and just talking about what we thought Grogu was going to do. Grogu was going to decide, and and Steve said, well, I think it'll be, he'll decide to go back to Mando. I'm not sure I like that. And I said, of course he will, because that's the way they made the Starfighter. It's that little bubble there is for Grogu. There's a regular person cannot fit in it. So that was my whole premise. But Steve, again, you correct me if I'm wrong here. Steve says, no, that can seat a regular person. That's where he puts the bounty. Those people he captures. And I have to disagree. I have to say that's a small seat that used to be for a droid that is now only for Grogu. Am I correct in that, Steve, stating your position?
Well, you're correct in stating my position. You're wrong in your assertion.
Okay, please clarify.
They cleared out the droid socket, so there's no astromech droid back there to help pilot it anymore.
Exactly.
And I do believe that he put that back there for the intent of stuffing bounty in there. He doesn't care. He's if he's going after bounty, he's just going to stick them down in there, and they can stand. Dude, he can slide someone down there. They just stand there, and they're indisposed. They're incapacitated by being
There's
there.
no way you're fitting a Wookiee in that hole. You're not fitting.
Well,
he's not Trandoshan in that hole.
If he might have to bring those guys in cold, then you know what I mean. But
just got to bring the head.
Just their head, 9 heads in a duffel
That's
bag.
all you got to bring is the head.
All you need is the head.
I can't wait
He
till he
put a lot of
finds.
heads in there.
I'm looking forward to season 3. Him finding another Razor Crest and being like, I can finally get rid of this crappy ship. And
trust me, all us Razor Crest guys, we're wanting that too.
by the way, I was out and about with my wife and my mother-in-law today, and we went to some places like some antique malls and stuff. And there was a place where someone had a sealed Naboo starfighter on the shelf. $200 they're asking.
Oh my
It's
goodness.
disgusting.
Can
That's
you believe
disgusting.
that? Like, I was absolutely just gobsmacked. I'm like, this is absolutely ridiculous. And then the people that get them are customizing them and ruining their value anyway, like depending on how you look at things like that.
Are they ruining their value? Their value is $10.
Well, that's right. Well, no, now their value is 200 or 150 or so. No,
It's
you're
insane.
right. You're right. It shouldn't be, but that just, guys, I don't want to get off topic too much here, but I'm telling you, the collectors in this world sometimes really just burn me up.
Oh yeah,
I mean, they're going to bring out a starfighter anyway.
Well, they should. They should. No,
It'll
they
be
won't.
2 years before we get it.
They'll do that, but it'll be $150,
and you'll get it. 2024
with nothing to it. It'll be like what they try to call a play set, which is basically a glorified accessories pack, and charge $230 for it. Anyhow,
let's don't get into that yet. That's coming.
Okay, I'm sorry. I have many thoughts about that. It really ticks me off.
Oh, I agree. Okay, so
that's a good question.
I have a question.
Manuel Parkins asked how much is our vintage Rancors going for now. Has anyone checked into that?
I looked today. They're like $120, $150 to $120.
Well, the price of a Cad Bane skyrocketed within 24 hours once he appeared on the episode.
Yeah.
You can get your hands on anything from anywhere less than $60 if you're lucky.
Really?
His original pop skyrocketed over anywhere from $100 to $125.
Wow.
In the last month.
I mean, who's paying that though? I guess that's my question. Is like I get like that first 3 3/4 inch Cad Bane figure, hard to find. There's a ready to it, but like when you're talking about the Black Series that's kind of been out there and is out there again, I don't know. I just think that, and when it comes to pops, good Lord, pops are everywhere. So I get really irritated sometimes with our community. But anyhow, I'll shut up. We need to talk about the episode.
Well, just to chase the Cad Bane thing, a buddy of mine from growing up and in college, he just got into collecting, doing some photo stuff. He's in the Cantina, and I know Bill knows him, Drew Dodd. Just started collecting. He got his first, I think maybe his first or second Black Series, and one of them was Cad Bane. Got it the day before this episode. He paid $20 for it. he was, of course, in jest saying, "Man, I ought to list this thing. I could get easily $100 for it right now," because that's what they were going for. I mean, I think he held on to it because he's doing photography and stuff, but it's just the crazy market it is. One day makes a big difference. So
I wonder what the special edition one is going for now that had the little robot with it and all the accessories and stuff like that. I've got one upstairs somewhere. I got it from
150 or more.
Wow, that's crazy.
Not surprising at all.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, it's just ridiculous. I mean, Cad Bane's like my second favorite bounty hunter next to Boba Fett, but you can't even touch his stuff right now once he goes live action.
All right. Back on track. So I know you guys.
I have one question, Lucas.
One question. Go ahead.
So, are all the Tuscans dead?
I mean,
they alluded.
All traders said
they alluded that they were not.
Just that tribe's dead, I think. Which I
heard. I feel like Cad Bane alluded that they weren't all dead.
No, just that tribe. If you go back and you consider the timeline in season 2 of The Mandalorian, that was that after they had all been killed when he's working with the Tuscans to take out the crate dragon?
Yeah, it would have to be. Yeah, I would think. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, because Boba Fett shows up with his black robes on and everything. So yeah, there's still Tuscans around, but just that one tribe. I think Boba Fett, the people he was working with, I do think they're all dead. They're as dead as Uncle
was that
and
before, or was that after that meeting with Boba Fett though?
Well, because remember, we see him, he's out on his own. He sees the flares, finds Fennec Shand. That's in season 1 of Mandalorian.
Right.
And then in episode 1 of season 2, he's helping the Tuscans beat the crate dragon.
the
Right.
Mandalorian is, and then you
Yeah.
see Boba Fett watching them leave.
Right.
Remember he's standing up on the dune there, watching them go. So I think that's after the Tuscans have been killed of his tribe, but no, they're still Tuscan Raiders on time. They're all over the planet, so
Okay.
you can't get rid of those sand people.
No, I'm hoping that I'm
Everywhere.
holding out hope that ninja like one
Oh, I know.
survives somehow.
Yeah, it's hard to believe they didn't give us a shot of her laying on the sand if she was killed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But who knows? So I know it maybe doesn't have its same pull at your heartstrings, being that it's an episode removed and you've probably watched it 2 or 3 times. But when we see Mando come in, now, do we ever find out the name of the planet that Luke's on? Do we ever find that out? No. But when they're coming into that planet, and then you see R2's little antennas, little radar thing, I mean that always pulls at the old classic Star Wars fans' heart to see R2 there. He lands, and we go from season 1 of Mandalorian of hatred to droids. He jumps out of the Star Wars and he goes, "Well, hey, friend." He doesn't say it like that, but he does say friend. So kind of neat evolution to his character. And then we see R2 leads him to the waiting spot, and we see those ant droids building the old Jedi temple. What do you think about that? I know Steve's got an opinion about it, but maybe he'll let somebody else.
I like the androids. I thought they were cool.
Yeah, those are cool.
I really did. I thought they were neat.
Yeah.
It's interesting to see how well unison they were
Yeah.
working together, just like an ant would.
Okay. Yeah.
You think about the ancient ways, like what builds fortresses in ground and above them. Well, an ant can.
All right.
So to kind of think of it that way, like, oh, okay.
What about the temple itself? I mean, what do you guys think of that? I mean, to me, and I'll just kind of give my 2 cents on it. I really felt like the guys, because who wrote this one? Did Favreau wrote it? No, or Filoni wrote this one, I think, didn't he? Or at least directed it, because it's got Ahsoka in it. So usually if Ahsoka's in it, he's had a part of it. But it really felt like the writing, the whole episode was trying its best, of course, tying in original trilogy, prequel stuff, Clone Wars, but then too grabbing at the sequel trilogy. Because if I'm not mistaken, this is the temple that we get glimpses of in the sequel trilogy that's in ruins because of Kylo's, incident there.
Yeah.
So interesting, we get a little glimpse of it in its construction. But I'm like you guys, those ant guys are pretty cool. You see them, at first in the woods with the rock there. And at first I thought, okay, there's a Jedi moving around. Oh, that's an ant. That's a big mechanical ant. And they care for their patrons. He made him a bench so he could lay down and take a nap. And R2 shuts off. I guess, again, as I've heard some guys talk about, another nod to maybe the sequel trilogy, which I don't really care for in that regard of R2 taking a nap. But do we see him do that in the prequels or in the original trilogy at all, take a nap, or is that only in the sequels?
Yeah, he shuts down once.
Yeah, he shuts down when Luke and them have him, and they're cleaning them up.
Oh, that's right. In the very first one. And even and then we see 3PO do that at Obi-Wan.
We see 3PO shut down. R2 just stops when he takes the restrainer bolt off. R2 just stops the recording of Leia.
Right.
So they can run off. And
what about
I don't know that we ever see R2 go into sleep mode.
Yeah.
Per se.
Well, he did shut down that one time. What was
on
it?
Dagobah, but right before he met Yoda.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
right.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
shut down.
he gave him some power. That's right. Yeah, he was, but the R2 was still awake though because he's talking to him. He's like, I don't know if you're saying it's a mistake to come here. Yeah,
he's able to wake up pretty quick if he is in sleep mode there. Or this one, he's like stone cold. Don't bother me. I'm waiting for the alarm to go off or for Ahsoka to show up. So we do have Ahsoka show up. I know some of you noted that you're stoked about her appearance. There's something mystical about her. Okay. Something's different about her being there. And it was interesting for me. I'll just put it that way. Just, she seemed to exist outside of their time, if you will. Like she could kind of be where she wanted to be or whatever, some of her comments, Luke's interaction with her seemed to be that there was a bit of elusiveness to who she was and where her presence was at time. What did you guys get any kind of feel for that at all?
I did kind of feel like she was there, but like not there.
Okay.
Like that's not where she belonged. Like she was like outside their realm.
Okay.
So almost like I'd be interested to see how this next phase with her in her series comes out.
Yeah.
The thing that I thought that, is we saw her through Clone Wars and Rebels. There was always that element. She's still learning, and it's like she's coming to her own.
Mm-hmm.
Her character's really maturing as I saw it, because I saw her not really. Well, there were a couple of elements where she was communicating with Luke, and you think, okay, she recognizes who Luke Skywalker is, but then there were other elements where it was like, I'm your equal almost, and there was just a real maturity and almost cockiness, which really makes me excited for the Ahsoka series.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Well, part of it too, you got to remember too, in Clone Wars, she walks away from the Jedi Order, but comes back and really never says she's a Jedi anymore.
Yeah.
So there's that separation where I think
she makes it a point to say she's not a Jedi a few
times.
Actually.
Right. Yeah.
She does.
Exactly.
I'll tell you something that I really liked about Ahsoka and Luke's interaction was when she said, "You're so like your father."
Oh, yeah.
I think it's cool that at some point her and Luke kicked back while those androids were at work or whatever, and she told him about Anakin Skywalker, Clone Wars Anakin Skywalker, so he could know his dad as something more than Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she had episodes in Clone Wars with Padme too, and so she really, because what does she say? I'm a friend of the family.
Oh yeah, family friend, old friend of the family.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, when that was uttered, I was like, oh, I like this. This is good. Nice subtle nod there, or a blatant nod.
It's just good to know that Luke got to know all about that. He got to hear the real what his dad really was before he fell to the dark side.
What did you think about though? So Mando's walking with her through the woods or going to where he can spy where Grogu and Luke are, and he's taking issue with her. He's like, you told me that you wouldn't train him, so what's the deal here? And she basically says, well, that's Luke's choice and I can't control the will of others. Almost like, I'm not so sure he should have done that, but he did. I mean, maybe I'm reading too much into it, but I think I wrote it down here. It's his choice. I don't control the wants of others. And
that's a good life lesson for all of us, man.
Yeah, it is. And then when she shows up there with Luke and they're talking, says, "Oh, he's doing well," and Luke's like, I feel like he's remembering more than he's learning, or that I'm teaching him. And he seems to be second guessing himself, almost defaulting to her as the master, to help him out and navigate. What do I do with this kid? Well, actually does that. What should I do here? Just interesting. So is this part of his own development?
He hasn't had access to Jedis like she did,
Yeah.
It's only
the elder
in
the picture.
It's only the second one he's ever met, right?
Right. That's true. And this is
the elder in the picture was her.
Yeah. Yeah.
So in the Jedi Order, that kind of wavers to her.
Yeah. And we grew up, Luke's the last one and all this stuff. And of course, later that changes with the Clone Wars and everything. But now we live in a world where, well, I guess technically she's not a Jedi, but she is in our hearts. But she's this sage to him, this master to him. And she's watching.
She trained at the Jedi Temple, She trained with all those guys.
Yeah, I mean, she's had elite training compared to the rest of this crew, until Luke. And she's letting him, I guess, learn his lessons. This is his first student. And
think about the skill she acquired in the Clone Wars. I mean, when you watch her in the Clone Wars, she's an incredible, even in Rebels.
Right.
Her skills are far superior than Luke Skywalker's were, or he would have just slain Darth Vader in that slow Empire Strikes Back duel, If that was Ahsoka, she probably would have crushed him.
Yeah. So it's interesting, and I think because he asks, she just shows up there, and granted, Mando could have been asleep for 30 minutes and her just watching him, but she just shows up there. But then Luke's comment, will I see you again? Almost like she has this aloof nature to her, like Thor was saying, where she just kind of comes and goes. She's kind of in a different deal. And maybe I'm crazy here, so I want to hear your take on this. I've never been a fan of it, but are we getting some nods to the world between worlds here, even? Because Filoni's a part of this. That's a big part of Rebels.
I'm curious to go back into it again and look at just the outer edge of like the just the background of everything on that planet to see if we can find the owl.
Okay, yeah.
So that's something I'm going to go back and look again. I think it would be interesting to see if we can find one.
No, we saw it in Mando.
It was on the planet when she first was. Yeah.
So that owl is that representation of the outer rim worlds, like beyond reality.
Right.
Could that be where Ezra is?
Yeah.
Could the whales have transferred him to that dimension?
Yeah, maybe she took a break from riding a hyperspace whale to come check on him.
Yeah, that's right.
Like, okay, break time, boys. Okay, it's all right. I've got to go check on this green guy. So I'm out.
I'm just guessing. Like,
no, yeah. I mean, I think there's something more to her character, and hopefully we'll learn some of that in the new series.
All right, I gotta share something. I'm sitting here doing this with you guys.
You're
My
right.
wife's next to me saying, "Oh, you guys are a bunch of big nerds." I think I'm watching Big Bang Theory right now.
That's okay. My wife's watching Grays.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, for reals. Backing up a little bit, what do you think about Luke and Grogu's interaction? When he's telling him about an old friend of his named Yoda. As he's helping him walk. At first, I thought that was Grogu, jumping, and then you see Luke move his hand. He's like, vroom. That was crazy. I thought that was really neat. Grogu's struggling to get one frog, and Luke pulls the O. He's almost like Yoda and Luke in the X-wing over there on Dagobah. He's struggling to get it to bubble up, and Yoda's like, "Oh, let me just raise this thing." Just really cool. He kind of nods to that. Did it pull at you guys' heartstrings when Mando does see him out in the distance and he wants to go to him?
Oh, for sure. Of course it did.
Yeah. And that one line, what was it?
And then doesn't. You like, takes the pain not to interfere with his little buddy. That's heart-wrenching stuff right there.
Yeah. And what was that line he said? I've come all this way, and he's just right there. He's just right there. I mean, just kind of speaking from a parent's heart. If I hadn't seen one of my boys in so long, and I make this long trip, and finally I can see him, but then I was like, oh no, I can't, because if I do, I'll interrupt what they're doing, or it'll cause them pain or whatever. And then just the willingness to kind of retract, even though you've done all that you can, you've looked forward to that moment of that reunion, but you've got to back off. That pulled at my heartstrings big time. Let's see. Let's kind of wrap up this episode. I know you guys are ready for the finale. Anything else you guys see in 6? I've got a couple more things I want to hit on. Anything else in 6?
Did anybody notice that when he was running through the woods with Grogu on his back, it looked like the exact same scene
right
from Empire Strikes Back? Like they dubbed it.
My wife said that.
Yeah.
She said it looked like the same backpack.
Yeah,
like
the exact same thing.
The camera angles were the same. The way,
Yeah.
shot was
He's doing flips over rocks.
Oh,
and
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, it looked like the exact same scene, just dubbed in.
That's what you just love about the guys that are writing this and directing it, because they're wanting to emulate as much as they can of the original trilogy. Just again to go back to just that nostalgia, but it was really cool. And thinking about it too, Yoda's last student was Luke. Luke, what appears to be his possible first student, is a Yoda type species. Just kind of neat to see that. I know we'll get into 7 here in a minute. I don't think that chapter's closed. I mean, I know we have what we have in the finale, but I don't think that's over. I really don't.
Here's the one problem I had with the whole episode.
All right.
Luke gives him an ultimatum, and all I can hear in my mind is Obi-Wan telling Anakin, only Sith deal in ultimatums.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, right. I forgot about that.
I just could not get past that.
Yeah, Obi-Wan says only a Sith deals in absolutes, which in itself is an absolute.
That's exactly what I kept thinking.
And you know what? To build more on that, it's like during all three of the first trilogies, Luke had all kinds of friends.
Yeah.
Why you can't have a lightsaber and friends at the same time? I don't even get that.
But
he's taken the whole no attachment things too far, maybe because he saw how it destroyed his father getting married to, and he knows all that stuff now because Ahsoka told him. So maybe it's all in his head. Maybe that's where everything went wrong, and he got the wrong vibe about Kylo Ren and was thinking about killing him. And
or he just selfish and he wants Grogu to stay with him. That's what he wants.
Oh yeah, because he lays it out there pretty thick. So
yeah,
he goes, "What's short time for you is a lifetime for other people."
What do you want, this shirt or
this cool
awesome lightsaber made from a friend of mine? He's like swirling it around.
But
there's a shirt. Yeah,
it's a shirt. It's just a shirt.
And Grogu's he's like, I'll take the shirt.
Listen, don't forget, we see Grogu have a flashback of his time during Order 66. And you don't know who was there to protect him or how he got out of that. I think that'll be some of the stuff we see in the next season of The Mandalorian. But when you consider, his relationships with lightsabers really isn't that great.
Yeah. He looks like he's got an issue when Luke is doing his little demo with the lightsaber.
And that Beskar chainmail to him represents more protection for him than a lightsaber.
Right.
So
what? And does this too?
Yeah, that's insightful.
Does this mirror the Empire Strikes Back? Luke's training. He goes into the cave. Then he senses something wrong with his friends. He wants to head off to Cloud City, and Yoda's like, "Whoa, you're not done with your training. If you go now, you can't help them and all that." So this is a pivotal moment for him, which and he gives into attachment.
Yoda was wrong, though. Yoda was wrong. He went and did help them.
Well, he didn't really help him. Him showing up at Empire, what does he change? He doesn't change anything. Han still gets frozen in carbonite. He loses a hand. That's a pretty big change for him. But he didn't help them.
Mm-hmm.
But I say that because I think that
I don't know. What would Vader have done? Would Lando, Chewbacca, and Leia really have gotten away? Vader wouldn't have been preoccupied. His forces he would have been in control of his forces the whole time. Would they have gotten Lando alone in a corridor?
That's a good point.
It's interesting because where would Vader have been? Would he have stayed there in the carbon freezing chamber waiting on Luke to show up?
That's true.
No, he was there because they saw the X-Wing coming.
That's what I'm saying. Would he have gone back to his Star Destroyer? What would that have looked like? But also at the same time, you can't forget what Yoda said. If you honor what they fight for, then their sacrifice is enough. And Luke, here's the argument that could be made for Luke showing up being an actual good thing. It is R2 who shows up with Luke that gets them out of the thing, that gets them, that fixes the hyperdrive and helps them get away. All of that wouldn't happen without R2. Lobot would have saved the day in Luke's place. That's true.
Ed V, you nailed it. I think that's what would have happened. Lobot would have been the hero, not Luke.
That's what Ed says in the chat there. That's awesome.
Lucas, I think your point's pretty cool though. Just like Luke broke his training, we see that same element with Grogu if it comes back to that. And I didn't even think about that.
He's got to come back. Because you think, and I was listening to a little bit of the guys on RFR today. They always do a great job. And I was driving. I said, well, because they've already done their after show for this episode or for 7, but they were referencing back to some stuff, whatever. But a caller had called in and said, it just doesn't make sense for him to choose the chainmail shirt. We've got all of season 2 trying to get him to a Jedi, to get him to the place where he can be trained and stuff. And essentially we get a few episodes and he's back with Mando. what does that say for his story arc and everything like that? I still, not that he doesn't end up with Mando in the long run, but I think there's still more Jedi training coming. There's still more interaction with Luke. And that's just my thoughts on it. Because Luke comes back to Yoda. And granted, he doesn't get much. Yoda dies. But I don't know.
Well, maybe the training won't be with Luke, but it will be with Ahsoka because she's outside of the order.
Maybe. But I mean, at the same time, she refused the training before because he, some issues of attachment. So we'll see.
I was going to say, so being infant mental health specialist, attachment is one of the biggest keys for a child's development.
Right.
And if Grogu didn't have that attachment with Luke, but he had that with Mando, which is what I suspected all along was going to happen regardless, because he is in infancy still. He built that attachment with Mando. I feel like that safety and security is going to be more warranted for the child first before learning how to aggressively fight off others, because you're not ready for that.
Yeah.
You're not mature enough to really know how to do that yet. So
that makes sense.
Can I touch on Grogu still being in infancy? This is one of my hangups with the Mandalorian and with this is I still can't get over that. He's 50 years old. And I know they age different. I get that. But 50 years of being around people and communicating and everything is still 50 years. And if 50 years means that you're still a baby when you're 50 years old and you act like a baby and you act like a toddler and you do all those things, then the fact that Yoda's 800 means nothing. The wisdom that he's accrued in 800 because he's just, basically a 40-year-old man. And so
Ed B's real question, I think it drives at the heart of what you're trying to state, Steve, is when does he get real close?
When does he get real close? Right. Well, that's what Teresa was saying on Geek Out Loud last night.
Is that right?
Yeah. But I think that I look at that and I'm like, they have to say in that pram that he was in, that we find him in the very first episode of The Mandalorian, had he been in suspended animation or something, is there a reason that there's no maturity to this 50-year-old man? Because that's what he is. He's a 50-year-old. Yeah. All right. Regardless of how cute he looks, he's 50.
Well, so, how old was Yoda when he died? He was what, 8 or 900?
He was 900.
Okay. So 900. All right. So we're looking at 1/18 of Yoda's age here. So that would put him equivalent to a 9-year-old. Is that about right? Is that right? No, wait.
If as far as physical aging goes, but as far as mental aging goes, what good is it being 900 years old if you can't get to the mental equivalency of a 50-year-old, or you don't get past 9 years old at the age of 50? What, to me, that kind of negates Yoda's aged wisdom kind of thing that he has going on.
Maturity.
Well, that's what I'm saying is why
I think Grogu's actual development level was not even a year. I don't think, if he was a human child. I mean, think about it. My kids were talking and stuff, and
right. But what I'm saying is, what I'm saying is it's one thing to say bodily they age different. It's another thing to say, well, they mentally age different, so that 50 years to them is like a toddler for a child, or as Lucas says, for 9 years old for a child. It to me, I'm like, 50 years is 50 years. And if he's been around these people, and he was in the Jedi Temple and, for what, 20 years, what is this, 30 years after all that? So 20 years, surely there's got to be I feel like there's something that stunted this kid's growth in some way.
Well, yeah, trauma, man.
That's true.
Trauma does a big number on people, especially a child.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking of like a science fiction reason, man.
Yeah. But even in that aspect, think of it. Trauma for a baby, right?
Yeah.
An alien being, regardless, that's going to have some implications. Like, how was he able to communicate with others after that fact? they put them in an egg nest shell and like shipped them around all over the place, right?
I'll give you that. Yeah, like Mork from Mork. I'll give you
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. So how is he going to be able to learn to communicate, let alone remember how to communicate
Right.
after 30 years?
Okay, and I guess that's my question. Is that the case? Because when Ahsoka talks to him in Mandalorian season 2, she mentions that he's communicating basically telepathically. And so she's actually talking to him, mentally and that sort of thing. But I don't know. Like, it's just I'm not hung up so bad on it that I don't enjoy stuff, but it's just one of those little things that kind of tickle the back of my brain.
Maybe that's how their species actually communicates. Maybe it took Yoda 200 years to really catch on.
That's true.
Maybe
he doesn't talk.
I mean, he understands what's going on. He's not dumb.
Maybe that's why he talks backwards.
Yeah, that's right. He talks in riddles.
Yeah, right.
Like this.
From right to left,
Yeah, but George Lucas said that he talked that way because he was so old and he was from a different time where language was.
That's not what Dave Filoni says. Dave Filoni says that they can't master. They have trouble.
You know what? I tell you, I talked to George about this. I was sitting at the feet of George, and I was like, George,
that's why they talk in parables, right? And then Luke's talked about that.
What if he talks? Hey, George, what if he just doesn't talk and like all he can do is communicate mentally, and that's that species and actually verbally communicate, takes him, I don't know.
I'm so glad Dave Filoni could jump on the Zoom call with us. Thanks, Dave.
Yeah, man. Look,
I know you've got a busy schedule, and I don't want you to let too much out of the bag, but can you give us a glance?
I can't really let too much. You guys, you fans are always trying to trick me, and you got to be on your toes with you guys.
Well, I guess the real question is: Are you still donning that cowboy hat when you're out in public, or have you moved on to something else?
The cowboy hat's kind of like Batman's cowl. You put it on and it's amazing. If you take it off, you can walk around all over the convention floor and like nobody recognizes you. It's pretty cool.
Well, Dave, thanks. I know you've got a busy schedule, but thanks for dropping in here on Thursday Night Live with us on Friday. So, gosh. Killing me.
Friday Night with Filoni.
That Friday Night with Filoni. That's it. I think that's a new special. We're going to try to get that happening here in the Cantina. Friday Night with Filoni. Any last other comments on episode 6? I got one thing I want to bring up, but I'll save it. I want to give you guys a shot at it. I like how I just kind of just threw that out there and then just whatever. It sounds like I'm in a class full of college students, seeing if they can get the right answer or something. What do you think about well, first off, Boba doesn't say a single word in this episode. He makes a nod. Okay. Doesn't even say okay. Jokingly, Steve and I kind of text about it. Really don't. I think the problem some of us have is because it's called the Book of Boba Fett, and Boba Fett really wasn't in 2 episodes. But we're looking at the bigger picture, the greater story. I've affectionately called it Frontiers of the Force or Frontiers of the Republic or something like that, just being silly. But really, that's what it is. I mean, it's just, we're getting kind of the, I guess you could say the Marvel verse, if you will, trying to create a Mando verse where everything's connected. And when you put titles on these different series, sometimes it can be misleading. But I think about like Captain America, Winter Soldier, or Civil War. It's bringing everybody in, and and I think there's a healthy balance because obviously Captain America's in it throughout, and maybe that's just what we're getting. But we're getting those snapshots from a week, so we're not getting the full look at it. But here's the thing: so Mando shows up. And, they're going about their strategy, and they said they need foot soldiers. And Mando says, I might be able to help with that. The next scene, you see something that for me took me back to Star Wars Rebels. You see that crate dragon skull. That's all you see. It's moving forward. And I was like, oh my gosh, Captain Rex is somehow back alive or something, or still alive. And then it's obviously on the Sandcrawler. But I'm for sure that was intentional to take us back to Rebels, to take us back to those clones and everything. I thought that was such a cool nod. Did you guys all catch that too? I thought it was super cool.
Yeah. I didn't go back. I didn't go back to the clones, but I thought, oh, cool, they got this. They got the skull from that crate dragon they killed back in Mandalorian season 2.
Oh, so you didn't go back to the clones as soon as you saw it, man.
I didn't know. I was just like, hey, cool. They got that skull from that they killed.
Okay, well, that's cool in itself. But I just thought it was really neat because in your mind you're thinking soldiers, foot soldiers. You see that skull, you think all of a sudden them, but then of course that's quickly dispelled. But
well, wasn't it confirmed? Didn't Dave Filoni confirm there's a bearded dude on Endor?
Right, that's supposed to be.
And didn't he say that they've retconned that's Captain Rex?
Yes. Yeah.
I like to think that guy with the beard on Endor is Rex. Hey, I'm back, guys. George, what do you think? I mean, look, yeah, Captain Rex, the clones. It could have been around in Endor, and probably would have fought with the rebels, especially after you did that in Rebels. I didn't have anything to do with it. I'm retired.
Wearing his flannel shirt, eating at the same restaurant every day, enjoying what Lucasfilm has done with his legacy. So, oh goodness. Last call, episode 6. I don't have anything else. Anybody else got anything? George, Dave? No, good. All right, let's hit the finale. I know you guys, from what I've all seen from most of you were just blown away by the nonstop action. Once it started rocking and rolling. What are some thoughts? Go ahead. Somebody jump at it. What's something that stood out to you? Something you loved? Whatever.
Something that really stood out to me was Boba Fett riding a Rancor.
Okay.
I'd like to throw a shout out to Ricardo, who was on the Rancor side all along with me, and a face to Lucas Butler.
I could have
so adamant that there wasn't going to be any Rancor riding going on.
Yeah, I've gone back and
of course my wife
episode
ironed on the letters to this cool
Look
shirt.
At this shirt, Jay's
so
rocking.
I could wear it just to spike the ball on you even further.
Ride the Rancor, ladies and gentlemen.
Ride the Rancor.
That shirt will be available for $13.95 following this. Calming, and Grogu calming the Rancor. I will confess I was wrong.
Yeah, infants can't do that. Infants don't put Rancors to sleep and then take a nap with them. He's got something bouncing around up there.
Yeah, I could have swore with Machete and all those guys talking about the Rancor in that episode. There was some underlying stuff that that's not the. Even my wife watched that episode with me. She said, "Oh, that's not going to happen. They're going to try to kill Boba Fett with that Rancor." But
yeah, I 100% agree with you. There was definitely underlying stuff, but the underlying stuff was that you want to see Machete as this devilish, nefarious guy, but really he's a Rancor keeper. He loves the Rancor. He wants them to open up and see Mando and bond with them. He wants them to have that connection. He was soothing his Rancor. He's going to be back.
Let's move on to the next topic. Y'all were right. I give y'all credit because y'all, all the three of y'all, because Dan said that too, that he'd ride there, and I didn't think you would, but
I thought for sure
it was really cool.
Because I thought
it's
when he
all
took
I could
off
think
to go
about
get
once they brought that Rancor, when they first showed the Rancor coming up, it's all I could think about. Because that cartoon where Boba Fett was in that cartoon riding a giant thing, he rides.
Somebody in the cantina the week before said that the gift was chainmail. You remember we talked about that? Was that you, Thor, that said that?
Yeah.
See, because I thought, man, somebody in the cantina. I just need to hang out with you guys, and my Star Wars knowledge will increase.
Oh, man, I don't know about that, man.
Yeah.
I think that's why we're all here, right?
Yeah.
I thought, roll the dice, and hey, this makes more sense.
I thought it was so cool them flying out and fighting with the jetpack. Because that was a throwback to Mando,
right?
When they were flying, and it didn't look as good, but man, you could tell Boba and Mando knew exactly what they were doing.
Yeah, that was
a little bit like IG-11 wanting to blow himself up every other second, and they're just making plans. Well, let's just ride out and go down shooting. I'm going to die with you.
Yeah, just
like, you can try to survive. It's okay to, make a plan where you live.
But what also got me on that aspect, like they took those what do they call it? The
Scorpionex.
Yeah, those droids and like they're supersized them.
Yeah.
Basically,
the
droid
yeah, made into those Scorpionics.
Yeah, I'm just like, man, they really went out on those to make them like these giant bubbled tanks, so to say.
Dude, yeah, they were legit crazy. I mean,
yeah, Hasbro threatened to sue us because we were calling them Scorpionaut, and that's apparently that's a Transformer thing.
Yeah, Scorponok is a Transformer, yes, but still, regardless, like the black saber didn't pierce it.
Right.
He was going too fast. He doesn't know how they work. You got to go slow into it.
But didn't they?
I kept sitting there thinking in the Clone Wars there was a whole lesson about roll the thing so it goes slowly through the shield and then
he also doesn't have any training. So, but yeah, for Jedi,
yeah, but you would think they've seen force shields before that they could know how to handle them. You'd think Boba Fett would know.
Yeah, because I mean,
or at some point Saul Guerrero wrote
a manual. How to destroy
operating procedures or something, I don't know.
We will show you how to kill me.
Lies, deception.
Right.
Decepticons.
More Gullet.
Decepticons.
More Gullet will show the way.
I got choked on that one.
More Gullet and I just came back from a nice dinner at Outback.
I had a coupon.
No rules, just right.
Shot of that oxygen first.
I love an awesome blossom. Borgullet prefers the kicking chicken.
Mild on the spice, folks. Mild on the spice. I'm with you till we both fall. What do you think about that when Mando says that? This is the way. You buy
That's what I'm saying. He went all IG-11, self-destruct mode initiated.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. It is interesting though, Mando's been booted out of being a Mandalorian by the armorer, but he's still holding the code. He's like, no, this is who I am. I'm going to stick with it. This is the way. He's committed to this worldview, even though Boba considers it to be bantha fodder. So
I think he's going to try and find, see if he can find those whatever rivers underneath Mandalore or something and try to redeem himself. But he should just bounce right out of the, just go be a regular Mandalorian, not Death Watch. Didn't he hear Death Watch? Those guys are tools.
I wondered why he didn't request for like Bo-Katan. And
whatever happened with that? Bo-Katan at some point was just like, all right, take the dark saber that I've been after.
Oh yeah, we'll see that.
Yeah, well then she went back.
Like, they never,
right?
Yeah, she couldn't take it from him because it has to be in battle now. For some reason, Sabine gave it to someone and gave it to her.
But according to the armor, that was what was the fall of Mandalore, is because she got it not by combat or creed.
That armorer might be some kind of crazy person.
Well,
I've said from the beginning, I think the armorer is part of the original, or has ties to, like, obviously the Death Watch and stuff, but like the Darth Maul.
Yeah, well, you see her helmet,
because she's got those horns on her helmet and stuff.
Yeah.
That's who I also think.
Yeah,
something. And it would make sense because you think about it, her whole clan was destroyed.
Yeah, I mean, it's
so
maybe we'll see more about her, because those characters are too good to just let lie. We'll get them again.
I think they're going to be in the next Halo video game.
Probably, yeah, because they got a nod to Halo in that episode. Supposedly, I'm not familiar with Halo, but you guys said that world, I guess, was right out of Halo.
Spitting image
in episode 5. Let's see.
Oh, hey, who besides me knew that the mayor's assistant was not going to like what Boba Fett wrote on that pad? How do you just roll out there without reading that first?
Oh, yeah. He was like, hurry up, get up. Like,
Yeah, I'm still glancing at that. I just wouldn't trust that. He seems like, he was the shady mayor's assistant. He should have put those together. I felt like, because I mean, you guys all knew, right?
Oh,
right away.
I died rolling when he started reading it off. I was like, no, he didn't.
As soon as he,
he
was
left
giving
him
his,
out there for nothing.
yeah, he was giving his.
I was hoping he was going to offer him his tribute.
Yeah,
like Luke did the 3PO and R2D2 at Jabba's. I thought that's where he's going, but he didn't.
Do you think that the mayor's assistant was a nod to 3PO for this series? Just his
quirky Twi'lek version of him, kind of, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. That Ricardo says yeah as well. Just interesting. What did you think? Go ahead, Bill.
What did he call him? Tailhead?
Yeah, Tailhead.
Oh, that was awesome.
That's so original. I never get sick of hearing that. He said something like that. He was.
Well, then Pelly later said, "Nice tails." She's like, "Oh, well.
Yeah."
That was hilarious.
She dated a Jaw. Well, why wouldn't she date?
She
that
probably
guy?
meant it.
Very
she
furry.
probably really liked his tails. Beats a hairy Jawa.
She's kind of mixed. She doesn't care. She's an indiscriminate lover. We'll just leave it at that. So, all right.
The thing, like what Ed just said, he was amazed that he even survived the episode. Like, I'm thinking the same thing. I'm like, he survived
somehow.
He was seconds away from getting wasted.
Oh yeah,
seconds
right in front of his face.
Yeah. What did you guys think when obviously now it's hard again because we've seen it so many times. When you see that X-Wing coming in, did you think, okay, here we are, the finale of Mandalorian, we had Luke show up, and now Luke is coming to help Boba Fett's cause because he's bringing that's what I thought, man. I was like, yes. And then
that whole thing didn't feel right to me. I mean, Luke is really going to send R2D2 and little Grogu off in his X-Wing fighter. Yeah. Why is he staying there?
Yeah.
Ahsoka left. He's got no other students right now. What's the point in not going just for the flight?
I love Luke, but that was a real punk move.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You're not doing anything. He doesn't even have Netflix or whatever. It's just like it's just a rock house
fortress, right?
He's not in the cantina, so he doesn't have us to talk to.
That's right. It's not,
didn't even have a computer.
Zoom call.
Did Grogu steal the X-Wing?
No. R2 wouldn't have let him do that.
No, R2 flew him.
Yeah, it was like she was programmed to go, told to go take him there.
And then even then, R2's like, "Hurry up! Where's the Mandalorian? Yeah. Come on, I gotta go. Get this ship back to Luke.
I gotta get out of here." I was so hoping that was going to be.
Got shot by Jawas here.
It's funny. He lands and she's like, "Put that up, throw that away, hide that." To try to get rid of all the contraband.
She thought it was the cops. Yeah.
That was hilarious.
Then when she say Grogu, what a horrible name! I'm not telling you that.
What a horrible name. You know what my wife said when that happened?
Yeah.
She's like, I agree. Exactly.
She's right.
Yeah.
Even when they first said it on that episode of Mandalorian, I was like, you couldn't do better than that. Grogu.
As Ed said, and then you have Pelly turn into Rambo later in the episode. He just busted her tooth out. Patrolling
just spit it on the ground and kept shooting. She's got like a Jawa gun, right? That's a Jawa gun, right?
Yeah,
isn't it? With the big
similar,
muzzle.
But yeah, I'm like you guys. I mean, just the action in this was it was awesome. I mean, from the get-go, as Bill noted, they fly out, after the distraction of the mayor's assistant, and they're taking an aerial attack on these guys, and then they're pinned down, man. I mean, but how cool was it though to see them fight together, from the whistling birds to the knee rockets to the it was just awesome. Some of the best.
Corral is what that reminded me of.
Yeah, definitely. OK Corral. I mean, it was just super cool.
I'm glad they jumped out of the place though, because otherwise you look at, I'm like, okay, is history going to repeat itself? Are they going to get trapped into this? Back in there, like what they did before, and had to go into the sewer, so to say, in order to get out. Like, what is their plan? That was my thoughts, and then all of a sudden, boom! Like, oh, okay,
yeah,
they're coming right out.
Yeah, I didn't really get the young, the young guys on that one. They're like, oh, fine, roll back to your wicked safe fortress. We're going to stay here in this wide open, be here for the town. You can be there from the town from a giant safe fortress. You know, you have a fortress and you're like, I'm going to stay in this blown up building.
Yeah. And it really, his whole interaction, going back to the beginning of that episode with them, like you said, them telling him, hey, let's stay here. Let's do it for the town, be here with the people. But Boba's reaction is kind of the way it's been the whole deal. It's kind of been, I hate to say it, a little bit of a softy kind of pushover at times. We know that, a lot of things happened in his life to change who he was from a storyline perspective. But
the Sand People made him like, he wants to rule with respect. He never had that part in his life. I mean, he was a clone.
Yeah.
He was basically Jango Fett, bounty hunter clone. You see him in the Clone Wars. He's just doing bounty hunter stuff. He's with creepy people, Dengar.
Yeah. And so he has family for the first time. I mean, obviously,
he didn't understand what it was to be a part of something like that. He was just always alone and betrayed by basically everyone he ever trusted, Bosk and all those other bounty hunters and stuff.
Because obviously, Cad Bane and he have history in the Clone Wars, and you guys refresh my memory because I didn't.
They worked together in some comics. Yeah. They
does he betray him as well? How does their relationship?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. In the Clone Wars, I think he does as well. When he's just he's still a little guy.
Yeah, the dent in his helmet is from Cad Bane.
But, yeah.
Oh, that's right. That footage that was never aired, they showed it. One of the celebrations, didn't they? The unfinished footage from Clone Wars, and they had the showdown, and then Cad Bane got it in the head, and supposedly, I guess that's where Boba got. They were going to explain. I think that's where he got his dent in his helmet. I think at one point, but then you see Cad Bane. What is it in Bad Batch? And he has that plate, and then obviously we see it at the end of this as well. So they got some history, that's for sure. Let's see what else. Something cool. Yeah, they were obviously counting on those truces to hold up, and that didn't work out for them. That did it. So, dude, those poor Gamorreans, little piggies.
I know. That really upset my children.
Yeah.
They were bummed out that those guys, because I really liked them. I didn't think I was going to grow to. Those little guys grew on me, Just
and then they never got mentioned.
They were like puppies. They were like little puppies.
Never got mentioned.
Yeah. No, there wasn't a time where they had a memorial for them or anything. No,
just had a barbecue.
Oh, went and found those. Kelly found them. Kelly went and found them. Had a barbecue.
Time for some ribs.
And then they're gonna just put some robot parts on them, and those Gamorreans are gonna come back like mechs.
Yeah,
Robotech style.
Yeah, go let him see Thundercat. He'll help him out. Play a little bass guitar and put a new arm and leg on him. So
who is Thundercat?
That's Dr. Claw, man, from the Mod Parlor. That's his real name, Thundercat. He's like a rock legend. He was with Suicidal Tendencies and somebody else.
Crazy bassist, yeah. He's a bad bassist.
I did not know that.
All right. Well, there you go. I feel like we know something new here. Yeah. All right. I need to stop copying your impressions because you're better than I am. I don't want to get into
No, not at all. Not at all.
All right. So and then Black Chrysanthemum, dude, he gets mobbed by. Well, first off, why are you going to put him in the Transdoshan part of town?
Doesn't make any sense at all. Those guys hunt Wookiees, and Wookiees hate those guys.
And he ripped that one dude's arm off.
Yeah, just because he had a couple of drinks and couldn't resist the urge to tear his arm off.
Put the mods there. Put him over with the Aqualash or something. But no, we're going to put him in the heart of Transdoshan area. Oh, I tell you what, my heart did skip a beat when they had him and they had him on the ground. You see all those Transdoshan. I was like, oh. But then, of course, we see people flying down the street a little bit later. But how many hits
how is his hide is like Beskar? Yeah, I think he got shot like 37 times.
Yeah,
he's just a big old tough Wookiee, I guess.
He's a monster.
I mean, he gets shot stinking in the hamstring. He goes down. Oh, I got to get you to the back to tank. And then he's running around later, picking up stuff before he makes it to the back of tank.
We could do that, or I could just keep killing people.
Yeah. I think he's kind of like the Hulk, Steve. He's got that some.
I feel like he is in a lot of ways. He may be modded up himself, but I tell you, the thing about this episode to me, just from almost from stem to stern, was it was almost like we all got together, poured our toys out on the floor, and said, "All right, you be the bad guys, I'll be the good guys. Here we go." Yes. Okay, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to attack your Wookiee over here with all my guys and get him out. Yes. Well, I'm going to send Boba Fett in on a Rancor. Well, I'm going to knock Boba Fett off the Rancor. Now he's going crazy, and we're all in danger, and it's just like, it's just one thing after the other,
It reminds me of those memes that we've been seeing. It's got the kids playing with their Star Wars toys, and it says Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni riding the Mandalorian.
Yes, it really is. It's And I say that in a good way. I don't mean
at
all. Like, I think that's one of the strengths of that particular episode. And then just all the Godfather vibes from the moment where everything turns around and they're killing the Gamorrean guards and they're jumping Chris Santa Claus and then right down to the end with Fennec Shand, like just going on her killing spree. Like, she finally gets to do what she's wanted to do this whole series.
Right.
Just take everybody out.
Dude, she hangs the mayor. That's just crazy mess. I was just like,
and disappointing. I wanted that to be a Boba Fett thing, and I wanted it to be more drawn out than that.
Yeah. What did y'all think? Like Jay said, don't you think Boba should have had his moment with the Pike leader?
I really do.
Yeah, I thought maybe she would have got him and brought him to Boba or something. I don't know, but yeah, it's and she just unleashed on those guys. Of course, what about that goofy interaction, though, that she had with the mod girl on the way there? That was kind of odd. When she goes and, lets him, kind of covers them and wipes out the Aqualesh and they run off. She jumps down and the girl says, "Thank you." And she's like, "Well, that was kind of nice," or something like that. And they both smiled. And I was like, that's a little odd.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe I was Boba. Ed B says, "I thought it was going to be the reverse with all the Boba All-Stars, each ambushing a rival family head, mirroring Godfather baptism scene." Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Well, that's almost what Fennec did. Was like,
you're right.
They kind of did the reverse Godfather baptism scene, with the enemies attacking all of Boba Fett's guys, but then they kind of did the reverse of that. They flipped it back on its head with Fennec at the end and what she goes off and does. And because it's like there can be no peace when we're going to just take all these guys out and be done with it.
Yeah, Thomas Quimby over on Facebook said, thinking about the Gamorrean guards, he goes, "My son was asking, why in the world do you station Gamorrean guards near a cliff?"
Well, since when is there a cliff at Mos Espa? Like, I don't know. There's some other things I've got with little. This is where I get really down into the weeds in my nerddom, and I'd never say these things out loud, but I will here.
Okay, safe place.
When was it decided that Beggar's Canyon is where the pod race took place? One. When was it decided that Mos Espa was a sinkhole? Two. These are things that you never see in the other. They're never established in the other films, and it's almost like, why did that have to be Mos Espa? Why couldn't it be like Mos Soca or something? Because it's just it was just really kind of weird to me. Like, we named it this, even though it doesn't look anything like it used to.
You see, is part of that, conflicting with what it was shown in the original stuff, or is it just violating our headcanon, what we've already perceived it to be, and then we have a hard time, wrestling with it? I don't know.
I defy you to go watch episode 1 and find a sinkhole where the city is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right about that. I mean,
the Beggar's Canyon thing, to me, it's more of like, I didn't realize that was supposed to be Beggar's Canyon. And now they said that, fine, great, wonderful.
Yeah.
It seems a little too easy, but that's fine. That's none of my business. But the Mos Espa thing just is really tricky to me. I don't get that, but it is what it is.
So correct me if I'm wrong. So we spend time in Mos Eisley in the original trilogy. We spend time in Mos Espa in the prequel right?
Trilogy.
Yeah. That's where Watto's stationed and all that stuff.
Yeah, Watto's in Mos Espa. And when Anakin shows up looking for Shmi in episode 2, he says, "Oh, she's way out over the other side of Mos Eisley."
Yeah.
And he makes it sound like it's pretty far away from each other. But here it doesn't really seem so much in this show. I don't know. Maybe it is. I mean, they're not going to, obviously, we're not going to have like 30 minutes of like, well, it's a 45-minute drive to Mos Eisley. We better get going. You know, you're not going to just, you know.
And just kind of narrative. They're streaming some music as they're making the trek across the sand. So obviously the Rancor shows up, much to my dismay. I wanted to be right, but I was wrong. But dude, that was so cool. Ricardo and I were doing our usual. He sends me messages during the day. Have you watched it yet? Whatever. And then he says, just send me a message when you do watch it. So I sent him. I felt like I watched a Godzilla movie. And he was like, no, you watched the King Kong movie. It's what you watched, and that's right. So, because definitely had vibes of King Kong coming off the Rancor.
The building at the very end is like he's climbing the Empire State Building.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Once he goes,
what planes are going to come out and start shooting them?
That's what Mando does. He tries to fly up there and deal with it, which was not wise. Thank goodness for Beskar. Sure, he'd be headless. So technically, he tried to eat a Mandalorian. So see, that's what Ed B said at the time. Are TIE fighters coming to King Kong and the Rancor? Yeah,
that's psyched for you guys when the Rancor actually finally ate somebody. I was like, don't throw him, eat that guy.
Yes.
Just eat somebody.
It was cool though when he picks up the guy and Boba shoots him, then he
just
there was so much cool stuff. Fun. And just to see a Rancor in action like that, because in a Return of the Jedi, he's awesome, but you get him in the dungeon there, and Luke, makes pretty quick work of him, honestly. But here, this dude is just wrecked, and is he a juvenile or something?
Yeah.
So he's not even full size. So wow. God.
And it's funny, once Boba gets thrown off him, he's like, "Hey, I'll just tear this place apart. Why not?
Yeah,
I'm a Rancor."
Yeah. Well, in all fairness, Cad Bane did put fire in his face, much like fire in Frankenstein's monster's face. He goes berserk. So.
Yeah.
So, but God, yeah, he's tearing the Tatooine apart. Kind of going to Steve's point, like you're sitting down playing with all your toys, and okay, this is what happened. Here goes the Rancor, tearing it all apart. So we got the showdown. Cad Bane, Boba Fett. You knew how it was going to go when you saw the gaffy stick on his back.
Yeah, why was that?
How it's going to go? It was like he hasn't had it at all until he comes back with the Rancor. Well, I guess he had it on the back with the Rancor. I would assume he did. And then there it is. And got him in the chest. How big is the Hasbro? Yes. How big is that Hasbro Rancor? They're asking, Jay. I guess that's what Ricardo wants to know.
Oh, I don't even know. I mean, it's
definitely bigger than the vintage one. It's huge.
Yeah, it's a good size Rancor. It's pretty cool.
I feel like if HasLab said, "Let's try again with that Rancor," they'd sell it. They'd hit their goal.
For sure.
That's the Filoni Rancor, isn't it, Jay?
Yeah, it is.
That's awesome.
That thing is huge. Yeah, any Rancor online is high dollar right now. Oh, that's the guy, right? Oh, cool.
Yeah, he's pretty cool. See if I can get him up there.
So we have the there, look at that. We have the showdown, Boba Fett, Cad Bane. Obviously there's history there if we know the whole deal, but even from their comments, I thought it was neat, and I didn't catch it until I was just watching some stuff the other day. The whole comment that Cad Bane makes to him, I can't quote it to save my life, but it's the same comment that Boba Fett makes to what's her name? I've lost it now completely. This is great.
Yeah, it's like if that's not the pot, calling the kettle black.
Yeah, so he makes that comment to Bo-Katan and her cohorts when he sees them for the first time in Mando season 2. Boba Fett says that, and then Cad Bane says it back to him. Thought that was pretty interesting. Obviously, showing that he's learned a little bit from Cad Bane. Some of his mannerisms, his antics have rubbed off on him. And Boba makes it real clear that he's not a little boy anymore, and gives him the what for. But is he dead, really? What do you think? Is Cad Bane dead?
Yeah, I think so.
My
I mean, there was a lot of Cad Bane blood on that gaffy stick, like this. I mean,
I know, but
But
You never know though with Star Wars. I mean, we thought Fennec was
No one's
dead.
ever really dead, I guess.
my son had a good theory. Okay, so
Okay.
Cad Bane, Alien, is that where his heart's at?
Mhm.
2, he's got the breathing apparatus.
Yeah.
So is he really dead, or is he still alive and breathing and he's playing it off?
Mhm.
I think you're going to see more Cad Bane as this goes on.
And 3, what's this beeping thing that was on his chest? It's still going. When they go over him, it's still flashing and beeping. So he's not done. There's more Cad Bane. I mean, think of it too. All the work they did to make him live action, just being logistics here, they're going to use that model and everything again. So it may be in the Obi-Wan series or something, but who knows? You're muted, Thor. We can't hear you, buddy. We can't hear you, Thor.
I was thinking like the back to tank, right?
Okay, yeah.
So is he in a back to tank somewhere?
Mm-hmm.
Or did he go in the back to tank after or before? Like, I mean,
yeah.
Getting Marshall back?
Yeah.
Like, I thought Marshall was done. Like,
yeah,
shot him in the head, right? Or
no, he looked like he got him right here.
Maybe it ran to his shoulder there.
Well, remember too at the very end that Boba Fett says maybe this isn't the place for us, but who's it for?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, my son says, well, they're going to go ahead and have the sheriff become Boba, and Boba become the mayor, and Boba does what he wants to do. And comes and goes as he pleases.
Mm.
My son throws out some crazy stuff and blows me away. So.
Yeah.
So I kind of suspected, like, so now he took Cad Bane's life. Now I'm going to give it back to him by putting him in the back to tank to give him life again, to make it to where he has to kind of serve Boba in that way.
Yeah, I don't know if that guy's serving anybody unless they're paying him.
Well, it would still be paid. Obviously.
There was a lot of hate there from Boba. I don't think Boba saves his life. If he's still alive, it's not because of Boba Fett. I don't think.
No. Or maybe
he is not. Those guys are not cool. You don't amend from that kind of stuff.
I see what you're saying, Jay, but kind of to Thor's point, what's the last thing he says to Boba? I knew you were a killer. And then he kills him, but then does he then bring him back through back to tank, say, okay, listen, I'm not. You got another. I mean, granted, there's still a lot of bad blood. There's still going to be hatred there. I don't know.
That seems like an unwise thing for Boba Fett to do.
Sure. I agree.
Boba Fett seems a lot smarter than that, I think. And I think he's smart enough not to leave, a lifelong enemy on the ground, not knowing if he's really dead. I think probably Boba Fett knows how to kill his species.
Well, see, this is the other aspect of that. Okay. So we're looking at the spice trade. Those guys aren't done yet, right?
Oh no, they're going back to get Crimson Dawn, dude. They're coming.
Exactly. And if he has Cad Bane on the inside, right, to help kind of deter and maybe manipulate a little bit, along with I don't know, kill the main
Bane doesn't do
person
that
in there.
Cad Bane was hired by the Pike, so he's the Pike's guy. He doesn't turn on his jobs
unless he's dead, come back to life, and
I'm not sure just dying gets you.
I just throw it out there.
I think we're going to see him again, but I don't think it's going to be Boba's hand. I think there's some other
probably not. But
Grogu's going to do a force trick on him and make him nice.
Do that hand thing.
Then they're going to nap.
There's no way of making him nice. There's no way.
This is the way.
Well, and that's the thing. We really haven't talked about Grogu in this episode, other than his arrival. But he's got a pretty important role that he plays. He pulls the bolt out of the Scorpion X droid. Kind of saves Mando there. He puts, I guess we did mention how he puts the big Rancor to sleep and then takes a nap beside it. I mean,
something you're not mentioning that was a really favorite part for my family, and we actually rewinded it like 5 times, was when he first saw the Mandalorian when he was uncovered from the blanket and just kind of force jumped up to him.
Oh yeah,
that was so adorable.
It was.
My son's like, rewind it and watch it again.
Whoa.
Mando's like, what are you doing here? Puts his gun on.
I missed you too, buddy.
Oh, look at you! You got your little shirt on. Oh yeah, that was a heartwarming part of it. And then they got to get back to business. Was the rickshaw droids trying to get them out of there? So, anything else you guys got from that episode before we talk about that post-credit scene? Anything else?
What y'all think about them showing the stormtrooper helmets on the spikes?
Oh,
you think that was an allusion to something else?
Well, we saw a lot of that in Mando season 1.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So maybe coming back around to that. I don't know. But that was on Navarro, right? Or was that?
No, that was when they went to Tatooine.
Was it Tatooine?
That was the episode titled Gunslinger when we first saw those, I think.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
When Fennec got shot, when Fennec died or whatever.
Maybe just
I just thought maybe that's the symbolism of worse things to come.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know.
Heads on pikes. Yeah. Generally a warning is what it is.
Yeah. Ancient history for sure. So we get to that post-credit scene, and Steve's adding more shocker. He's adding shocker to his display over there. We get to the post-credit scene, and you've got Cobb Vanth. He's in the back to tank, getting rejuvenated because it looks like from episode 6 he gets shot in the shoulder. And I've kind of done this. Like when I watch it the second or third time, I'll turn the closed captions on so you can hear some things that don't get said. And at the end of episode 6, when he gets shot, the townspeople, you really can't hear it if you're just doing the audio. They're talking like, hey, he's still alive. So it was interesting for the one guy to say that he gunned him down in cold blood or whatever he said. But long story short,
like insinuated that he was dead. Like it left me the impression he was dead.
But the end of episode 6, it sounded like he got hurt, but he's not dead. He's been the back to tank, and then you see Thundercat or Dr. Claw there light up one above him. He said, okay, he's fixing to make some modifications on this guy. So from what I heard earlier, I think it was you, Chuck, that said, or maybe it was Thor, that you think he's going to become the I guess the guy that's going to head up Mos Espa now, or that area.
Well, then it gives Boba Fett the freedom to do whatever he wants, where he pleases, and continue the book of Boba Fett, so he's not tied to Tatooine.
Yeah, that's possible. I mean, that would be a good segue from what they were just talking about, and then boom, you see that post-credit scene. What I'm thinking, what if this is their pivot for Rangers of the New Republic? Of course, everybody knew that was going to be Cara Dune. She was going to be, that was her series, and of course, all what happened, whatever. We won't get into that. So, what if they're going to take Cobb Vanth, this super enhanced dude, has the mods now, and he's going to be, I guess, the leader of the Rangers of the New Republic? I don't know. It's thought too. I think I like the sheriff idea better than was there in Tatooine because that makes more sense. But again, with your headcanon, you can go wherever you want to go. So, any other comments on episode 6 or 7? Man, it was a fun ride. So, what do you think's next? What's next for the storyline?
We got to think about something with the Fetts too. Like we didn't hear anything back with them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there's got to be something else there. Some sort of backing or something. I don't know. Maybe they become a partnership or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Ed B says
provide the Rancor.
Yeah. Ed B said in his headcanon, the Rancor post-credit scenes is the Rancor eats the mods. That's what happens. So that I think fandom. Thomas Quimby says RoboCop is coming. That's Cobb Vanth right there.
Yeah, Robo Vance.
Oh my goodness! So, yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff we see. That we see Mando and Grogu in the ship and beating on the glass. He's like, no, okay, one more time.
That was hilarious.
Yeah, it was.
I thought it was he had to pee or something. I didn't know what was going on.
I wasn't sure. I thought it was. I was like, "What's he trying to do?" I don't even know.
Hey.
Oh, well, let's turn the page.
Gonna break that glass.
That's right. Let's turn the page. Let's talk about. First off, let's talk about the fact that Obi-Wan will be here soon. You're looking at May the 25th, right? Is that right? As Steve would say, real Star Wars Day. So, I know we often celebrate on May the 4th, but they're releasing Obi-Wan on the real Star Wars Day, according to many. And I guess it's 45 years after Obi-Wan first was on the screen, and now he'll be on the screen again. So, what do you think about that, Steve? Are you there? Can you give us any thoughts on that?
About Obi-Wan?
Yeah,
being May 12th. I'm surprised. I thought it was a little bit further off than that. So it's Ewan McGregor. It's been confirmed that Hayden Christensen is somehow going to be making an appearance here or there.
Yeah.
We've learned that they love to tell stories in flashback and with this team, with this crew and Lucasfilm these days. So I think we're going to probably see Hayden in flashback more than an actual confrontation. But at the same time, was it Ewan or was it someone else that made it sound like that Hayden was actually going to be in the Darth Vader suit and we may actually see an Obi-Wan Vader confrontation? And if that's the case, I am here for it.
Oh, I hear that.
Because how much does that make you should not have come back? Depending on how that fight ends, when he says to Obi-Wan in Star Wars, you should not have come back. How much more weight then does that have? The fact that Vader may have known that Obi-Wan was flitting around out there somewhere in the galaxy, but just was kind of letting him.
As long as he stayed on Tatooine.
As long as he stayed out of Vader's business, then Vader would leave him be.
Yeah.
And I don't know. That to me, there's a lot of interesting things that come out of it. But then it could also end up being the biggest disappointment ever. I mean, I don't know how much middle ground there's going to be for an Obi-Wan show. I don't know if we're going to be able to see an Obi-Wan show and be like, well, it was all right, I guess. I really do think that this is going to have to be a home run or it's going to end up being a huge disappointment for fandom in general.
Yeah,
I'm curious one thing with it. If they bring it back to when he has that fight with Darth Maul and like they reenact an actual duel with Maul in that scene, because it was kind of very nonchalant on how he killed Maul.
Oh yeah, made short work
in the Clone Wars. So I wonder if they do a remock-up of that to kind of start the story.
Like do you mean the Rebels fight that they had?
Yeah, Rebels.
Yeah, sorry.
I think this is set a little bit further out from A New Hope than Rebels was at that point. But at that point, Rebels was 2 or 3 years away from A New Hope. So, and I tell you, it's interesting. Have you heard Dave Filoni break down that fight and why that fight is the way it is? He's like, his whole thing was he knew that people were expecting some big thing.
Yeah.
But at this point, this is Obi-Wan who has learned to be patient. He's no longer reckless, and he makes Darth Maul make all the moves. And in fact, Maul tries to do what he did to Qui-Gon and hit him in the face with the hilt, and then come around but Obi-Wan steps back, dodges it, and when the one slice just cuts him right into
I gotta go back and watch that. Yeah.
So it's he bifurcates him basically. And bifurcated man. And and so I think it's meant to show just how powerful Obi-Wan has become and how patient he's become and how much he's grown. Because if you have some awesome, amazing duel that's that close to A New Hope, then why are he and Vader the way they are in A New Hope? And so I think that Filoni was trying to be really protective of the Vader Obi-Wan duel there. I think what look exactly. I think let's keep Maul out of stuff at this point. I'm kind of tired of seeing Darth Maul pop up and everything. He's like he's like what Dennis Hopper said of Kevin Costner in Waterworld. He's like that turd that won't flush.
Well,
Ricardo says no, bring him back.
Yeah, well, exactly. Like there's something that I've heard in the back of everything, that Ray Park has been back involved with Lucasfilms in some things in some way. So I'm wondering if that's it though. Like they kind of bring back the fight, and maybe they go back and do the actual scene in that way and then kind of flash forward. But yeah, that's just kind of my thought on it. And actually having Ray Park play the part again in that.
Kind of going to, because Steve was talking about, this could go really bad if they don't get it right with this series. And I think that is because there's such a small margin of error, because you've got an entry point for this series and you've got an exit point for this series that are defined. So you can't go crazy with all the, for Book of Boba Fett, it's unwritten. I mean, other than maybe some of the novels and stuff, you could just do whatever. Mandalorian, do whatever. All the stuff that's on Disney Plus prior to this is you do whatever. It's open-ended for the most part. This has got a beginning and an end, entry point and exit point. So you've got to navigate that in such a way that, is going to match up with where he comes out. You can't get crazy with that. So yeah, it's definitely a small window, small margin of error, but it's going to be fun. It's Star Wars on TV. You can't beat it. So you can get upset with it, but it's still Star Wars on TV. So let's see. Thomas Quimby was like, when is the Soca series coming? Now, when is that? It's supposed to be this year as well, right? Or is that on in 2023? You guys know? Anybody? Because we've got Obi-Wan, we've got Mando season 3, we've got Bad Batch season 2. I thought Ahsoka was this year as well. Starts filming in April, Ricardo says. Okay. Oh, we've got Andor season 1, but I think they filmed season 1 and season 2 at the same time or in one stretch, so they're both ready, what I've heard. Again, that's just whatever. Well, let's turn the page a little bit to collecting. Hasbro showed off a lot of goodies this week. Some you're like, wow. Some you're like, oh my goodness, they really want that much for this. So let's get after it. What in the world do you think about that new playset? I know Steve's already made some comments about it, but my goodness. I mean, first off, it's really cool, but it's going to cost you $230. Oh,
seriously? It's like similar to the Jabba's throne room, which I think was like $40.
Yeah. It started out, that was really that first, I guess, new play set that Vintage Collection put out. Now the price on that's gone up obviously since then, but and really all it is, you get a figure, the fat Bib Fortuna, you get I guess the little place where Jabba would have sat, you get a throne. It does have some motion to it, my understanding, the little pit moves, and then all those accessories. $230. How long do you think that'll be?
It does have like a big side of beef or a salacious crumb looking thing you can put on the.
Now,
that does make it worth a little more for me, because that just seems awesome.
And
I'm sorry, guys. I had to get up and help my wife's dog. Are we talking about this playset now?
Yes, we are. Yeah. Now, is it? Obviously, it's gone to all the online vendors, but I wonder if it's going to the big box stores as well. Usually, it does when that happens, right? So
yeah, it's not an exclusive.
Yeah, so I'm sure it's going to sit at Walmart's, and eventually it'll come to clearance. So I'm just, if that happens, I'll get one. But if that doesn't happen,
for that price, though,
it's just so $230.
My question is any of the retailers besides maybe GameStop going to be willing to put that out there, and then have it a chance to go to clearance because they can't sell them because they're so expensive.
Right.
I mean, granted, inflation's only so high, but still, come on.
Look, I'm looking right now on eBay with 1 day and 19 hours left. A Dagobah playset complete without the foam, of course. $40 is what it's up to right now. Better playset than what this playset is. This playset is a glorified accessories pack.
Yeah,
it's a wall with accessories.
Exactly
Here's one with the box, near complete, no foam, got a box, $45. if you want to go a little more expensive, then if you want to drop 230 on something, you can get an incomplete Death Star that's still in pretty good shape, and it's a better playset. A vintage Death Star, better playset. I'm just baffled by how they think this is a $230 item.
Why not do like a HasLab of this? Because I mean, right now it says pre-order item. It'll ship in September 23. This is a whole year and what? Almost 2 years. Why not do a HasLab? And those that really want it, then they get it. But I don't know.
Who is but I guess my thing is like, I see a lot of people buying this, and look, if you want to pay it, that's fine. That's your business, and I don't hold anything against you for that. But at the same time, let's not act like they've done some favor for everybody by putting this thing out there. I think that's where I'm really at, is I feel like they're trying to make a big deal of this thing. They have to. They're marketing and that sort of thing. But I mean, really, this is a big deal. $39 right now with 13 hours to go on a 1983 play set. That's missing a few things. Ewok Village, I see it's missing the fire. It's missing the chair. Let's see, the elevator's there. It looks like the boulder is there. The net's there with the T thing. And they've even got figures with it.
Oh, you can't beat an Ewok playset, dude. That's like one of the best.
That's good stuff.
But you're saying $40 right now. Yeah,
$40 right now, 13 hours to go. There's some incomplete figures with it and an incomplete speeder.
It'll probably end up at 75 or 80 and still be a steal. So,
and I'm just saying, like, I just feel like it's a better play set for, not even a comparable price there. And I understand that you're dealing with a second market item versus something new and that sort of thing. And I don't know. It's really weird to me. I'm not mad about it. I'm not even frustrated about it. I'm just perplexed by it. I'll shut up.
I agree. I mean, when I first saw it, I was like, I got to have it. I want those things. Then I saw the price. There's no way. No way am I paying that.
Given that I'm sorry, I said I'll shut up, but here I am talking again.
Liar.
Given that they charged $50 initially for the first Jabba's Palace playset that was essentially 2 walls and a couple of figures, and the same thing for the Bespin playset that you had to buy 2 of to get a complete, round Bespin platform. When I saw this, I was expecting something comparable. I was expecting a $50 price tag.
Yeah,
I just don't see $230 worth of value here. I just don't.
No.
Many brands might tell you different.
Well, there you go. I mean, look, sure.
I just throw that out there. I mean, yeah. I don't either.
How much is a mini brand's ball though? Like just at
least $10.
$10 for one. But there, I don't know. That's a niche thing. People are willing to pay. You pay $10 for one. You get your little, you're on the hunt for something. You're on the hunt for the gold. They figured out the gimmick, and those things are going to go the way of Beanie Babies pretty soon. But also, I've seen people get use out of those mini brands, like using them in toy photography and everything else,
right? Yeah.
In a big bad way. These accessories are very specific to this play set, and that's really kind of the promotion. Is like, here's your big bag of it. Here's your big box of accessories. I'll shut up.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, I think it would be cool to have, but just that price stickers just makes it unrealistic. So what did you guys think about? Because I liked the idea of the Black Series archive line, kind of to bring back some of those hard to get figures. But did you guys see the ones this time? So we've got 3PO with the silver leg. You've got the Emperor. You've got Dengar, and then you've got Lando Skiff. Really,
Lando Skiff is hard to come by.
What's that?
Because Lando Skiff, he's hard to come by, right?
Oh gosh, there's so many Landos everywhere. I don't even understand it. What I mean, of those 4, okay, Dengar, yes. Dengar was hard to find. Be good to get Dengar in circulation again. I would say, whatchamacallit, Emperor, yes, good one. But 3PO, I don't know. When's the last time we had the silver leg 3PO? It's been a while. I know we had Red Arm.
Was he not in the 40th anniversary wave at all?
Oh, yeah, he was. Yeah, he was. Walmart has Lando skiffs on pegs for months and never discounted, Ed B says. So, yeah, it didn't make any sense, that archive stuff.
I think, I really think, I don't understand the creative team at Hasbro behind the Star Wars license. I think that what I understand from some of the documentaries and stuff I've watched is that Hasbro acquired the license when they acquired Kenner and all that good stuff, and they're basically bound to the same licensing agreement that Kenner was, which gave Lucasfilm a big chunk of change coming out of the sales and everything. So that's why I think you don't see as much retooling, innovation, and stuff coming out of that Star Wars line with Hasbro as you do with like the Marvel Legends or even the G.I. Joe stuff.
Yeah.
But so I don't know if that's part of it. I don't know if Hasbro is just tired of being in the Star Wars business, because there's a lot that has seemed lazy.
Well, did they just renew their contract, Hasbro? With Lucasfilm?
Yeah, I'm sure they did, because you'd be stupid not to.
Oh yeah,
you know. But
that's
at the same
cash
time,
cow. I mean, well, they've got so much. You've got G.I. Joe, you got Transformer. I mean,
right. But at the same time, yeah, you've got all that. But at the same time, it's like, then do something amazing with it. You know. I mean,
this Razor Crest is amazing.
I understand it's a corporation and they're not supposed to get their feelings hurt over things, but it almost feels like this thing is put out there because, well, you hurt our feelings over the Black Series Rancor.
It's like,
we'll get HasLab.
So, speaking of the HasLab, just a little bit, I saw your reaction there, Thor. Have you gotten the Razor Crest yet?
So I had a buddy of mine bring his in
to
my work tonight.
Ooh.
And he opened it with me.
Oh
my gosh, it is amazing. So yes, I did not order it.
Yeah,
I'm kicking myself in the butt for not, but I didn't order it. Wish I had.
Yes,
it is by far. I'm gonna put this above Jabba's barge.
Oh, you think so?
It's above Java's barge, just in intricacies and playset, like what it really is and what it represents.
Uh-huh.
The detail that went into this thing, it beats the barge.
So would you say, and maybe you can't speak to this because you didn't see it side by side, you have a Legacy Falcon in your collection?
No.
Okay, because I've heard people say that's pretty close to size comparison as far as length.
It's big.
Everything. Yeah,
it is big.
So I'm trying to prepare the landing spot. Yeah, the plan is, and hopefully Steve's on board with this. When mine comes, I'm not opening until Steve can come over. We're going to kind of do a video and unpack it and all that stuff and have some fun with it. So,
and unless it's a Sunday or a Wednesday, I'm free.
Yeah. I hear you. Same.
Right.
So
yeah. So I mean, it is in detail on this compared to the barge, hands down, a 10 out of 10.
Wow. I can't wait. Next week, hopefully I'll have it. We go live on
Oh.
Thursday for our sale. I'll hopefully have it. So that reminds me,
Yeah.
Chuck, I need to get with you. I know you've been messaging me. I keep forgetting to respond. By the way, sorry.
I just remembered today.
Yeah.
I won't be able to because that's my son's birthday.
Oh, that's more important.
So it's an important day, so we'll have to figure something else out.
Yeah. And I do want to talk about all that before we get off tonight because we're obviously doing it for a good cause.
Lucas, aren't we going to put up a claim sale immediately after that?
We are. Right now, while we're kind of there, I do want to encourage those that are listening either live or later, just to take a peek at the Cantina page. Many of you know one of our good buddies in the group, Zohan Pete Realmuto, passed away on Sunday. I believe it was Sunday, right, Jay? It was early in the week, and just a great loss for their family, and we'd like to help them out. Let's put them in a very difficult place financially. There's a GoFundMe that's set up. I know a lot of you have already given to that or plan to give to that, and they've got a great start to that already. I think going into this evening, maybe it was at $1,700, something like that, which I know will help the family a lot. But they're also on Thursday of next week. We're going to have a Cantina sale where all the proceeds go to that family. So, like, let's say, just making up a scenario, let's say Bill buys something from me. Instead of paying me, he'll just give that money straight into that GoFundMe deal, straight to that family. And then right after that, as Jay alluded to, we'll put up a reply auction thread where you can put up items. You like say, hey, I want this item. I want to give it to that family. You post it there. Reply auction goes for the weekend. When it ends, whoever wins it, you'll ship it to them, but they'll pay into that GoFundMe. So, or straight to Sandy, whatever you're more comfortable doing. Actually, in that regard, I'll leave that to you. And same with the sale. And then Johnny and the Spot on the following Monday, on I guess that's President's Day, they're going to have a sale at the Spot, kind of a walkthrough, go buy pegs. You kind of your request sale, and a percentage of those sales go to the family as well. So a lot of different things doing, trying to help out there. But you can always give straight to that GoFundMe, or if you just want to give straight to Sandy, I mean, that's totally up to you. I know she'd welcome any help you can provide, and also she'd welcome any message you could send her, just encouragement. This group meant a lot to her and him, of course, to Pete. And I know a lot of you guys and gals have already connected with her, and that means a lot to her. So, but yeah, thank you for reminding me of that, Jay, because that's an important part of what we do, and we want to make sure that we help them out as much as we can. So, I know we're coming up on 2 hours, guys, but I do want us to talk just a little bit more about some of these Hasbro reveals. We got from the Black Series, the regular line. You've got the Client, Death Watch Mandalorian, Ahsoka, Tano, and you've got Echo, and you've got Omega.
Don't forget the Death Trooper.
Oh, that's right.
Oh my gosh.
Dark Trooper.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. That's
such
a must. Yeah. I'm so glad that's not exclusive. I'm just going to say that. But it's so expensive too. What is it, $30? If not more?
Yeah.
What makes that figure a deluxe? Is that what that means when it's that much? Do they come with something, or are they just big?
He's just big.
I think what makes it deluxe is that they know Black Series collectors will pay more for it.
He's big. He's got like fire that goes in the bottom of his feet, so that's an extra accessory, I guess, and a gun. So, but he's pretty.
Imagine he's probably like a very hefty figure.
He's $34.
Well, I mean, weight wise too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Kind of like the heavy Mando.
Yeah. I mean, honestly,
or
that's
like
one
Wrecker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wrecker was more than the other in that series.
Yeah. And see where they went crazy with that deluxe, because Wrecker, even the Jar Jar had more accessories. They were more a deluxe figure. But then they get that Boba Fett from that really wasn't a deluxe. But yet they charged you what, $30 for that?
Yeah.
So the Return of the Jedi one, it's just
that's the thing where they we know that the collectors will pay this because it's Boba Fett. That's the kind of stuff that seems really dirty and underhanded to me when it comes to some of their business practices lately, as far as what they're doing.
Well, I'm a little confused. I mean, I'm glad they're staying this way, but Black Series have now moved up to $25. But Vintage Collection, haven't they always been $13.99, or they've been $12.99?
Well, yeah, 12 or 11.
Okay, so they've gone up $1 then. So, but not the near jump. Now, granted, there's different material sizes, all that stuff to consider. I understand that.
Hey, it's all a supply chain issue, man.
No, that's true. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I work in supply chain. Everything's gone up because of that. I mean, you talk to Jim Arcudi, he can't get his hands on anything right now because of that.
No, Jim can't. The candy man, the candy well is running dry right now, bless his heart. So, but he'll get back after it. I know he's looking forward to it. So he's a
one question I have. So we have what is that? Dio? No, not Dio. Cal Kestis's.
Yeah, isn't that Dio?
Yeah. BD. Sorry, BD.
Oh yeah.
BD. We see BD, but nothing, and no one's heard of Cal Kestis
Oh,
in the series.
right. Oh yeah.
I'm curious as to if he's to come.
Is he still alive, right?
Right? Is he? Or, you know?
Yeah, he could be. Yeah, we don't know. Maybe we'll get some answers in Jedi Fallen Order too, because that game's coming out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll get some answers there. Let's see what else we got. Which all of this series, I mean, I'd love to have. I've kind of gone away from the Bad Batch guys, so I'll probably pass on Echo and Omega. But I'll definitely get, if I can find them at a good price, Client, those guys, especially the Client. I want to see the baby. Show me the baby. Then I want to show you the vintage collection. What do you got? The 501st. You got Yoda. Steve, did you order a Yoda?
I did. I ordered the Yoda because original trilogy and that sort of stuff. But yeah, I didn't get anything else though out of that reveal. I like that. I like the look of that 501st Trooper though.
And then you had the vintage collection Din Djarin, the Morak, where his helmet comes off when he's in disguise. That's in that one.
Right. Where he's a tank driver.
Yeah. Sure.
By the way, everyone, 110.50 right now with 21 bids, 18 hours left to go. Vintage Millennium Falcon, 100% complete.
Whoa!
Wow.
So I mean, look, it's going to go up, but I mean, it's not going to get over.
It won't get to 230.
No, it's got some decals missing and stuff, even though it says 100% complete. But the training ball's there. Everything looks good in this. It looks good. It doesn't look overly yellowed. And so, but my point is, better play set than that accessory pack.
Speaking of play sets, speaking of toys, collectibles, I previewed it at the beginning of the show. I got this week. It's the Blue Milk, the vintage collection edition. Just came out. It's a pricey book. I didn't pay $75. I actually got it a little cheaper. Somebody got it on eBay and then they turned around and sold it for cheaper. I grabbed it, but they left the perks in it. If you go on the website, these perks cost more. And I just realized this poster's in here. Super cool. Check this out. I don't know how well you can see. Yeah, look at all those vintage figures. And if I'm not mistaken, this photo was taken by Kim Simmons, the original photographer for the vintage stuff. So those are the vintage figures, like the real stuff, where the book is on the vintage collection. So cool book, cool resource. I mean, just real quickly, so you go through and it's got so I opened the same page. So VC 16, which is Obi-Wan. There he is, a breakdown of the figure, kind of review of him. VC 17 is Grievous, breakdown of him. I mean, you could go on through. Oh, this is a sweet one. So this is Star Killer, VC 100, and VC 101. Who is that? Expanded Universe. Shea Vizsla. Look at this. I don't want to go. I don't take anything away from the guys, all their hard work, but I would check out this as a really cool resource. It almost feels like you got these guys in your collection as you get to look at them and talk about them and all that stuff. Even though I don't have them in my collection. All right, guys. Any other parting shots? Anything going on we need to be made aware of here in the canteen? Ricardo, I think you can get the book at Blue Milk for $75, and it's different. It's BLUEMI LK, I believe, and look it up there. It was kind of a crowdsourced deal or Kickstarter project, and they'd been working on it for 3 years, and now they're finally shipping them out. So check it out. It's really cool. It's an excellent piece of work. So, oh yeah, no problem, brother. Well, guys, thanks for hanging out in the canteen tonight for Thursday Night Live on a Friday. I love how Jay pulled out all the stops, had the Rancor and Boba Fett there, had Bride the Rancor shirt, rocking the Chewie hat. He's getting it done. So Steve had his giving us size comparisons here all night with Hulk, Baby Yoda, got Spider-Man. Then is that a Secret Wars Iron Man, Steve?
No, that's that retro.
A retro
collection
okay, yeah.
from the deal. So yeah. The Spidey is the new retro carded Spider-Man.
Oh, did you happen to go by Ross? Any of you guys gone by Ross to look for the new the Marvel Legends stuff that's been showing up there?
I haven't. I get scared to go in Ross.
Is it the large tennis shoes they sell that scare you?
It's the large women that shop there.
I don't know if you guys know or not, but City Trends,
okay,
place that I need to hit up near me.
Okay, what do they got?
So apparently there's been a big drop on Titan figures for Transformers.
Okay.
So figures like Metroplex, which are the big boys. Fort Max
at City Trends.
Do we have one of those, Steve?
Not that I know of.
I thought maybe about Bargain Hunt.
So so that's something I'm gonna be trying to look out for here shortly.
If we got one, we'll take a peek for you.
There's a City Trends in Rome over on Shorter.
Yeah, sounds like we need to meet for lunch Monday. So
over by the Bargain Hunt and everything, dude.
Yeah.
So those figures are quite pricey figures.
Okay.
Typically. So
okay, we'll have to take a peek for you, man, in our neck of the woods.
Sweet. Yeah, so that's they got those out there that I've been trying to look for. I don't want to pay $400 for it online.
What specifically are they saying is dropping at City Trends?
So they've found I've seen on a lot of other pages, Metroplex is one, Fort Max is one. They haven't seen any of the Scorponok, like the newer Scorponok or like Omega Supremes, but it's like the Titan Return stuff. So they're seeing some of that. They're also finding some third party, almost like masterpiece at City Trends.
Wow.
So,
is this the Metroplex with the really thin waist and everything, like almost non-existent waist area?
Kind of the big white one.
Yeah.
Yep. He's almost as tall as the Unicron that they created here a few years ago. So
Transformers, more than meets the eye. Maybe they're hiding out at our City Trends. We'll have to check it out for you, brother.
Yeah, thanks.
Everybody, if you got a City Trends, hit them up. If you got a Ross, go look for I think it's the first wave of the retro 6-inch Marvel Legends. It's got Captain America. Is it Black Widow? Who else is in there, Steve?
Black Panther, Spider-Man, Pizza Spider-Man, and Black Widow, Black Panther, Captain America, Pizza Spider-Man, and Punisher and Wolverine.
Yeah, go check your Rosses out. They've been showing up all over. So, well, guys, it's been fun. I know it's been a long night, but it's been a fun night talking Boba Fett, talking toys, talking a little bit of everything. So,
near complete, $270 Star Destroyer, vintage Star Destroyer playset. Not quite as good as the accessory pack, but still pretty good.
Yeah, it's a piece of toy history. It's not something. Yeah, you can get it within a week, and you don't have to wait till September 2023. So, or accessories is what you've forgotten about a TV show, and you're no longer interested in. Because let's just face it, we all get in these things where I gotta have it now, and then we gotta wait 2 years. Oh, I don't really want it anymore. So,
impulse buy.
Yes. So
2 days left to go on a vintage AT-AT.
Ooh,
$1 bid right now.
Dewey's Cantina is brought to you in part by eBay, where we.
I don't know what's wrong with this is from Kapow Comics.
Oh, it's from Monty.
Whoa,
wow. Cool. How about that? It all comes back around. So, well, guys, gals, those who are listening, everybody, I hope everybody has a great weekend. We will be back at it next week on Thursday for the Zohan Tribute Sale, Cantina Sale, followed by a reply auction through the weekend. You'll hear plenty about that. Those previews will start dropping soon, which I need to set that up, Jay, the thread to do that. So, but hopefully everybody has a great weekend, a blessed weekend, and everybody stays safe and stays healthy. All right. May the force be with you, gentlemen. All right.
Take care, guys.
Night, guys.